to things that you cannot change. What I mean by that, and hey, I'm Chris Boe, resilient wellness coach and your recovery mentor. What I mean by that is I think we have a big problem with finding our self-worth based upon the failures that have happened in our life. And to be honest, failure is hard because when we try things and we put our effort into it, we're expecting an outcome that is positive. That's the whole purpose of putting ourselves in that position. But as we know, as humans, we're not perfect. And thus, sometimes those efforts fall short and we fail at an opportunity. But let's take the word failure or fail and turn it into a positive. I think that's going to help because there is a lot of stigma, negativity attached to that word. See, fail, if we can start looking at it, we can think about it as this. Teach. Failure is learning. Failure is a teaching moment. Failure is what helps us to see what we did that didn't work and then change that into something that will work. It's all perspective. It's all a mindset shift. There was an acronym for the word fail, and I wish I could remember it off the top of my head. It's super good. It's something about learning. I don't want to butcher it. But my whole basis on this is, we fail at things, and what happens a lot of the times is you give up. You stop going after that dream or that goal. And so you're left with this sense of low self-worth. You beat yourself up over it. You convince yourself that you're not worthy. You convince yourself that you're not able to do these things. And I just want to tell you right now, let's break down that lie. Because very rarely can we ever get anything right on the first try. When you came into this world, right? You came into this world dependent on your parents to make sure that you were taken care of, maintained. Well, as you grow, you learn to walk. But you don't just take a step and off you go and you're running. No, you fall, stand back up, take another step, you fall, stand back up, you take another step. And this becomes a repetitive situation until you're able to walk without even thinking about it. You're able to run without even thinking about it. And you're able to stay upright and strong. That's the same thing in life. When you're doing a task that's new, you fall. But the point is you get back up and you try it again. And you may fall again, but you get back up and you try it again. And even if you fall again, you get back up and you try it again. See, and then over time, all these attempts will turn into mastery. You begin to get it down. You begin to do it right. And so giving up after the first time or the first try makes no sense because you're not going to get it on the first try. Very rarely. I mean, there might be some things in life that, you can nail on the first try. But I would also say there's a lot of other things that you've cultivated over a long period of time that have helped you to do that. So truly, you don't do it on the first try. You've learned these things, these patterns over time. So again, I'll say, don't judge your self-worth based upon something you can't change. You can't go back and change the failures. You can't go back and change those circumstances. The only thing you can do is revisit them, look at what went wrong, and then change that. It's just introspection is what it is. It's taking a deeper look at it and finding what it is that you can take out of it to grow. That's what successful people do. They don't just give up when it gets hard. They don't just give up if something doesn't work. No, they figure out what didn't work and then they try it differently until they do get it right. And so my shout out to you as business professionals that might be going through burnout. You know, things might seem hard. You might seem like you're failing, but you're not. We just have to get you back on the right track. We have to look at the things that are going on in your life that aren't getting you to where you need to be and address those and change those. And it's not as hard as you might think it is. You just need somebody with an outside perspective to help you pinpoint them. And that's what it may take sometimes. And that's why community is so important. And that's why I have the recovery community on the school platform. And me being a recovery mentor. There is a school right there that is really loud. Sorry about that. I got some good speakers. But no, I'm a recovery mentor. And so the same thing with recovery. We all have struggles that we go through. Hold on. Oh, I love it. They're doing the Pledge of Allegiance. That's cool. Okay. So as the recovery mentor, it's my responsibility to let people know that, okay, yeah, you've gone through hard stuff. You've been struggling with these things for many years, but that's not the end game. See, you're not defined off of that. You're going to be defined off of what you do from this point forward. And so anytime that you can move forward out of a situation, you can do better. We just have to get you there, and we have to give you the right tools to do that. So super awesome, super cool. I'm going to get off here because this school is really loud. I don't know why they got such great speakers, but holy moly. At least everybody can hear them, right? Okay, guys. Stay blessed, stay well, and we'll talk to you soon.